Okay, we're up to this MaMaar Hasidic discourse of Parsha Toldos, Tavshin Chav Zayin, late 1966. The MaMaar speaks about Yitzhoks planting, and then growing, and then there was a blessing. So the Rebbe explained till now that the planting is also on individual, personal level. It means a person implants the godly soul, and the intellect and emotions from the godly soul should also delve into the animal soul and accomplish what it needs to accomplish to refine the animal soul and elevate it. And then the Rebbe continues that what follows is that Yitzhoks found that the success was 100-fold, 100 times fold what he accomplished. What is 100? So the Rebbe says 100 is comprised of two sets of 50. What is 50? So the Rebbe explains, and this is where we'll start. Start over that paragraph. When we say 100, it is the 50 gates of wisdom, which this is the union of Bina, the attribute of Bina, which is the second of the attributes. Stay upon him twice. What does this mean? That in Bina there are two different levels. Yevel v'sitra de Yevla. Bina is considered Yevel, which is the union of freedom, liberation, because Sfiras Habina is the attribute that is connected, linked, and related to, associated with the union of liberation.
Yuvla is liberation?
Yevel is the union of Cherus. Yevel is Shnas HaYevel Tashuvu Ish El Achozase. The Yevel means Jubilee.
Right.
By a Jubilee, what takes place in Israel? Cherus. So Chassidus explains, connects it, that Bina, the attribute of Bina, is connected with the union of Cherus.
What is Vesitra de Yuvla?
Okay, Vesitra de Yevla is what branches out from Bina. Yevel hu Bina Atzma. Yevel is Bina itself. Bina itself has 50 gates of wisdom. Vesitra de Yevla, and actually this connects to the attribute of Keser. The 50th gate of Bina is connected with Keser, which is higher than the attribute of Chachma. As Chassidus explains, we count Sfira, we count 49 days, and the 50th day, it says, is accomplished on its own. And that's why, with this, Chassidus answers an interesting question. When it comes to counting the 49 days, the Omer, the Sfira, it says, Tispuru Chamishim Yem. One place it says count 7 weeks, one place it says 50 days. So Chassidus explains, we count 7 weeks, 49 days. The 50th already comes down on its own. Why is it considered that we're counting? Because it comes after our exertion. Since it comes after our counting 49, so it's also our share that we have. And that is the union of Shavuos, symbolizing the giving of the Torah, and the union of Keser. So this is connected with the, by Sfira we see there's 49, there's the 50th. That's the 50th is Keser. So Vizeo, and Bina has a very direct connection to Keser, because the Gili Atik, where do we see the pleasure that a person has? When does a person have pleasure, and where do we see it? When he understands it. Gili Atik is Bebina. Where is the revelation of the added attribute of Atik, of the inner part of Keser, which is pleasure, ecstasy, is when a person understands it. So that's why Bina is related to Keser, even more direct than Chochmah is related to Keser.
So shouldn't all this relate to planting 100 times, finding 100 fold?
So this is what the Rebbe is going to put it together. We're just watching it unfold. Sitra de Yevla, hu leya Bina atzma. Sitra de Yevla is what branches out, the path of Bina. V'rak mashanim shech memeno. And the Rebbe is going to explain how it is on a personal level. It branches out from Bina. Is v'zeu chamishim shari Bina shtei pamim. This is what it says, 50 gates of Bina twice. Chamishim shorim shemesitra de Yevla. First you have 50 gates from the side of Yevel. In other words, from the path that stems out from Bina. V'chamishim shorim de Yevel atzmi, and chamishim shorim, 50 gates, as they are in Bina itself. Let's see the order 27. Okay, this is the Inyan of Shnas HaYevel, that it's Chamishim Sha'arim of Yevel.
Does that do
Chamishim
with like the
Shana.
Chisanis and the Pneumius? Like what comes from Bina is 50 and then the Pneumius of Bina itself is 50?
Das heißt also, it's actually, in a sense, we could say Pnimis Chitzenius, but over here it's not even Chitzenius. It's like outside of, it's Bina. Let's do it this way. Let's
No, I'm just curious.
let's unfold it. The Sitra de Yevla is the midas, the emotions that stem out from the intellect. But they are originally they're in the intellectual level, and then they stem out. But they are in a different nature because they are part of intellect. So this is what we're going to see in the next paragraph. It's mentioned in another place, Bepirush Nun Shari Bina. Then another place it's explained what does it mean, the 50 Shari Bina, the 50 gates of Bina, which is mentioned here in Hemshachayim Beis. That the same way that a gate is in the end of the chotzer, and through it a person goes out, which means that the gate is at the end of the courtyard, through which a person goes out. The same thing is also in regards to the nun shari bina. They are the lower level of bina, as bina actually relates to the midas, to the emotions. That through the 50 shari bina, the seichel comes into midas. The hamshachas ha-seichel b'midas hu yitzia lechutz ma-seichel. When the seichel comes into midas, it is going out from the domain of seichel of intellect, because it is already nurturing emotions. It's on the level of emotions. We can possibly say, although we don't see it clearly, that it's al derech, like the buffer zone between intellect and emotions.
So you have to go through 50 levels before you get to the emotions?
You have to get it. This is a mamutza, sort of a mamutza, because he's going to explain. The Rebbe explains that in seichel itself there is also midas.
What's a mamutza?
A mutza is a mediary, a midpoint between. You have the Sefer Maimarim Nunhei over there in the Shafa and the Mizrach. That's the one I was telling you about. I forgot to post it a whole week. And Hey Nun Vov, like together. The Rebbe Rashabs. Okay, so B'meila, the Rebbe is saying like this. Val Pizeh Yesh Leimar. Shegam ha-chamishim she'orim v'yevel atzmei. The chamishim she'orim, the 50 gates. Oh, beautiful. The chamishim she'orim that are in the bina itself are basically the intellect as they already relate to emotions. Which means, so the Rebbe is, but over then there's two levels, two stages in that. Let me speak about the union of about the buffer zone between. This is the way it could say is the union of the Mitzrayim, Yitzias Mitzrayim.
Which each bina has a branch, or there are two separate things?
In Bina itself, there's two, and both of them relate to Midas, and one on a
You
higher
don't have
level.
to reach 50 binas in order to reach the branches.
No, it's like
it's like a connection of each one.
That's what it says, yeah, but it's Baldazen. Oh. See, he starts speaking about the union of Yitzias Mitzrayim Ruchnias, and he says Meitzar is a limitation. And then there's this, he says, what does Meitzar mean? Meitzar mi. Mitzrayim is Meitzar mi. Mi is Bina. The Leda, the birth of the Midas comes from Bina. From the intellect. Comes from the Seichel. And then he says, but there's a Seichel for each emotion separately. This is the basics. He speaks about Ave, love, fear, different things. So they both come from the excitement of the Seichel. The more he invests in the meditation, the more developed it is the emotions. Then the Rebbe Rashab speaks. Maybe it was this minor. The Rebbe Rashab speaks